the Peardeck one, you'll see what it looks like on the student side. So
I get
that's
it.
kind of what I wanted you, because otherwise you're not going to be able to see it.
Okay,
So,
I'm on Peardeck.
Okay, let me get to show up Peardeck. Peardeck for Google Slides. Okay, there it is. All right, start. Instructor paste activity.
Okay, instructor paste.
Yeah, I'm doing the instructor.
You're going to be
paste.
clicking it.
Yeah, you should. You do have the little box to put in the code.
So it was just peardeck.com/join.
I think so.
And then do I click join a session?
Yes.
Duh. Okay. All right. What's your code?
Okay, they're all lowercase. P as in Paul, E, F as in Frank, I, D.
No.
As in dog.
Transform insincere drums is what it says. Okay. And then do the kids always have to log in?
I think so.
Okay. I mean, it's fine, but I wish they
I think you can probably share somehow too with that. Okay, start class.
Because like I'm doing it. How are you feeling today? Right. I'm yellow. I'm not gonna lie.
So this is the one that I just played with. I put my little Bitmoji on there and everything.
I love it.
Let's see, and then I have to figure out how to make this go to the, there it is, next screen. All right, then I just took, I mean, this is basically the same thing that we had.
And this one, you don't really have to do anything.
Right, and so this is where they just read. This was one I used because this is what my kids needed practice in reading at the beginning. They had the letters down. They just couldn't always.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what you do for a while. You use those.
It kind of, yeah, for them, and yeah, they just needed. I wasn't doing this enough. I found out as I went through the program. So they read through that. Okay, just put that little fun thing in there. All right, so on here, I did this as a drawing. Okay. And I can do show responses. So we say, okay, compound word, dividing it into the syllables. So they can swoop it. So you should be able to pick a color. It's not on there yet.
I did black.
Okay, and then you should be able to swoop the compound words. And as you read it. Yep. Oh, there you are up there. You've got me shared there.
Catnip, catnip.
Okay, so I can click on my side. I can click show responses, and then I've got it. And I can
show you what each kid responded.
So you'll be able to see all of them?
Yes, as they each do it, I get to see what each kid did.
And so you just click show responses?
Uh-huh.
That's what I was kind of like struggling with because I had already put them on there.
Okay. Well, you had to make this a Peardeck slide. That
makes more sense. She was saying that it's better for her to use it in reading and not Peardeck and spelling because the animations all showed up.
Yeah.
Because we want the cards, which is hard to do without them.
Yeah. Especially when you get to the multi-syllable spelling because
that's what I was saying. Like you've got to flip that card over and it just spells it for them if you don't.
Right. So. And that's kind of good too. So again. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I love this. This is I wanted kids to be able to scoop on screen and I could see it. And
right, because they couldn't on the Chromebooks, could they? If they had a laptop or something their own, they could swoop it. I noticed last time that if they had a Chromebook, they couldn't. So
and they don't need two devices. When they log in, they can see you and they can see the slides.
Well, they will be on Zoom with me when we do it, just like you are.
But you know how sometimes, like, I think maybe I don't know which application it is, but like if you were doing a Kahoot through Zoom, you would need two devices.
Yeah, I couldn't figure that out.
Right, and so I was trying to figure out if we would need that for these things or not, but now that I'm doing it with you,
I don't think so, because I can have your little picture up there, and if I want to see your responses, I can still hear you. And then I just hit show responses and I see what you did.
Show me your screen.
Okay.
I have to stop share and then you can click
share. Okay, let me find where it is on here. Hang on, I bet I have to hide this because I'm in this other thing now. Oh, you're up here, that's why. I can't do all this stuff.
I know, and now we're switching to Teams.
I know, I was so mad. I was like,
I know.
No.
I don't understand it yet.
So. Share screen. Share. Okay, So here's my screen. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. And this down here where it says show responses, when I click that, I
Yep.
see yours. And if
And
it's
then
3
there
or
are
4
more you
people,
see all of them.
yes.
I love it.
Where does it say who's Peardeck, who you're doing?
That might be the issue. There was something, now that was a question, and I have to remember what she told me.
Is there somewhere that they could type their name on the screen?
Um,
Or could they write their name with the?
they could put it up here. Yeah, they can just write it.
I bet there's a way to see. I bet you can kind of see it.
I think there is. Okay, so this is what it was. There's a part of the program that's only free for so many days, the premium or something like that. And then after that, they have to do something. And I think it has to be in that premium where their email or something will show up.
So if we don't have the premium, we could just have them write their name up at the corner.
Yeah, their initial or something like that.
You could give them a different color.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You could just say, can you show me, what color did you use?
Yeah. Or you may be able to figure it out.
They would like choosing their colors. I feel like they would.
I know.
So maybe writing their name might be the simplest thing. I don't know.
They would have to put every slide though with the mouse.
I'm just
I
trying.
pretty much only have like 3 at the most usually.
Well, and you know what you could do? You could only ask them if it was wrong.
Yeah.
Red or.
Yeah. So okay, this is nice. I like this. Who did blue? Let's look again.
Yeah. And usually at this point, and this is the review, so that kind of. All right.
Okay.
So.
No, I think I know. I see what you're saying. And I'm wondering,
I just did.
see me and my name. I wonder if you could like. I don't know.
I just didn't know if it's if Chandel was up there.
But I like how they can write on it because that has been.
But yeah, because the decoding part is the part that we've got to see and what we have to know if they're actually picking it up and understanding it. So this is a way for us to actually do that. These were all the same. And then on current words, again, I put the directions up there and I make them go
that's what
through.
I've been doing too, and it's been so helpful for me.
Yeah. And
all the directions.
I want the vowels marked with the V and where are you dividing, all that some kind of fun stuff. Sometimes just the swooping, because I'm so used to the line between the words, to me it's a harder visual. I almost want them to see that between the consonant thing.
And sometimes like I wish I could have them move stuff sometimes. And I can't figure out how to do that unless I give them control of my screen.
Yeah, and I don't think, now on the Peardeck, you might be able to get some of that. So that's something on Peardeck that might be a little bit better.
Amanda told us why she doesn't want y'all to use, they don't want to use the line in between.
Yeah, they don't like the line because it makes it look like an L and it breaks the word up.
Yeah, I know. I was just.
She did.
It depends on the child too. I mean, if they're swooping it right, and usually when we get to this point, they're usually pretty good. But if I want to see, sometimes I'm like, I want to see that division because they're not seeing it. And they don't always swoop really good.
This is easier too for slides because every time I make my presentation, I put my swoops on there in animated. And then I have to click through every time and close, brev. And that's just like, it takes forever.
Yeah, I want to do that.
They're doing it. I don't have to do it unless I want to show them, and then we can write on it with the whiteboard tool in Zoom.
Yeah.
So I think that would work.
Yeah, we can you teach it through, and we'd have to look at our slides and see. And a lot of that depends on like where your kids are. Some fly through it, and some need more. And that's where I would go back to the whiteboard and say, okay, let's look
if you're on step 1, it's not that big of a deal with some things, but like the spelling, that's one thing. If they are using tiles to spell and I want them to build a word, I haven't figured out how to do that on here. I can do it on, okay. Yeah, that'd be good. So basically I wanted to figure out a way for them to build words, but then you know what they said at the Just Work training that I felt so stupid about? I felt so stupid because this is how dictation has been for me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't read that.
Oh, you can't read it. Mm-mm.
She was like, just do this. And have them write. And you can say, pull it toward you, a little bit more. That's good. And I was like, oh my gosh.
I still can't see it though. Hang on, let me click on the,
It's probably because I don't have it angled right.
okay. Yeah, see, that's still,
It's not great, but it's better than this.
oh, well, that I couldn't handle that because they just, oh my God, I was like, stop, put it down.
Well, and
So
then
what
they
I
would
was
take a
doing,
picture-
I
they would
just
take a
wrote,
picture and it
We're
would
gonna
be
tell them
blurry.
that all of you need to go get a document camera.
I know, right? All of you children need one.
yeah. Well, I was, the way I did it was I just had them write it. And then when they were finished, I wrote it on the whiteboard and they had to be checking it.
That's exactly what I did. And I just knew there had to be a better way though. Because I would say, is that what you had, Copeland? And he would say, uh-huh. And I would say, can you double check the word scrap? And he would go, oh, whoops, I spelled that wrong. Because I'm like, I know you and I know that you're going to miss that. So let's just check.
Let's go. And I have them go through and I have them spell it for me as I'm writing.
Oh,
I'll
that's
pick a
smart.
kid
You can have them
and
tell
I'll
you.
say, okay, let's go through the sentence. Spell the,
Teach me
T-H-E.
how to spell it. Can
Yeah,
you
and I'm
spell
writing
that
it
word
as,
by tapping it.
yeah.
Because you know, like for that sentence checklist, they want them to tap every word. And I'm like, okay, this already takes 20 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I was like, typing wasn't going to happen because typing is worse than writing.
That's exactly what I was saying. You know, like some people were like, well, we even had someone say in training, well, why can't they just type it? And I was like, there's no kinesthetic memory from that. None.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not going to stick. We might as well not even, it's just not very useful.
Yeah, you lost the multi-century, not to mention the fact that, you know, they're going to peck it. And my first graders, oh my God.
Or, where's the T? Where's the T?
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Okay, so this was kind of, you know, they can circle.
Well, they can circle, then I'm not doing it.
You're right. You're not doing it. They're doing it. And you're getting to see what they're actually picking up at this point.
And we can show them when we do the teaching and then they can practice.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's smart.
That's like, you know, and we're not wasting all the work we already did. And all you have to do is put it on a draw on the Peardeck.
And your kids got pretty far.
We did well.
And you did groups. Her babies at the Dodd, One District, One Book, Heather, read aloud a play. And I had no idea those were all her kids. They were reading fluently.
Mm-hmm. Most of them were. Not all of them, but most of them.
I know, and no one is a miracle worker. But like, if you had said that's our tier 3 group, I would have said no, it's not.
Yeah, I was proud of them. Oh, I was so proud of them for that. I had another girl in 5th grade that we had a talent show, and I talked to her, and she wanted to be in it so bad, so she read a poem. And we practiced when she kind of decided she didn't want to do it. She was going back and forth. She's kind of a pill anyway, but we were kind of going. But she actually did the poem, and she got 2nd place.
Oh, 2nd place.
I was like,
I want to go back to school.
I get to it. But my 3rd graders and that are doing real well. I have a lot of fluent. My 1st graders I'm struggling with. So they're going to be 2nd grade.
I think here's the deal. They're too little for this.
Yes. And I hope they're in school.
They don't.
I need my 1st and 2nd graders in school. I need them there.
My son is starting 1st grade this year, and I'm just like, I cannot believe we're missing 1st grade.
Oh.
Just, that's it. You can't teach 1st grade. And we're doing virtual because I don't know what else to do.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't blame you. I would be too. I'd be.
It's nuts.
But
thank you for showing me this.
You're welcome. I think, was that all that there was with once we went through this?
You know what I'm thinking we should do for word list charting? Have you used Flipgrid?
Uh-uh.
It's just basically like, have you ever used the app Marco Polo?
Uh-uh.
So it's just like, I just record a little video of myself and it's really easy. Like I just click record.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was thinking we could have like, this is an assignment. And we could say, click the Flipgrid and read the word list chart.
Mm-hmm.
Page 25. And they could go down and they could read it while they recorded it. And then we could go back and chart. And then we don't have to do it in the middle of your lesson that you have to do every You know, it could just be like, everybody does it.
Well, that might be easy because I can't get that assessment in and teach.
That's what I'm saying. And that way it doesn't make anybody have to read in front of everybody else in their group. We can do it later. You don't have to come up with another activity.
For somebody else. Yeah, I just pulled them one at a time because I was like.
Also, I think we could use it for retelling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, depending on if we need to stop them or not.
Yeah.
But I also, you know, if we did add part 10, like if we were actually reading them like a real book,
Mm-hmm.
they could listen to us reading them the book on the video. They could video of us reading, and then they could do a video response about it. Like, I really liked the part when this happened. And they don't, like, writing and reading isn't going to get in the way.
Yeah.
And I thought you would only have to do that once.
Mm-hmm.
And I know when I read To Kill a Mockingbird at Hull, I would be so hoarse at the end of the day. I read that dang book 3 times a day. I'd read the book, memorized, you know, and like, I could just do it once and be like, please watch Miss Carpenter read for 20 minutes.
Yes.
You respond about what was your favorite part, what's one thing you learned, you know, and they could just do it.
And what do you predict will happen?
Yeah, what do you think is going to happen next? And they could just tell you. And then some of that listening comprehension that we never have time to do. And
I'm mad about that.
I know my kids are like, Copeland's like, are you going to read to me today? Are you reading today? I'm like, no, you got to read today.
Well, we could do more assignments that way. And like, you know, when these kids are stuck at before school and after school, you know, when everything's being dismissed, they could go on and check that. And then the kids that are at home, well, of course, that's just something else for them to do. That's actually a really good idea. Just to
and it's going to save time, and it's going to actually give them more opportunities for listening comprehension that we never had time to do. And so I think that might be something that would make it just charting easier. Maybe we always chart that way.
On the flip grid, if they read the sentences to us and then we listen to it, and then we say back to them what we liked, and then we say, then they can respond back. Another flip grid and answer questions like in sentence 1.
Tell me one word that's find a relish word.
Yeah.
Find a compound word.
Which one has
well, and that's what I was thinking on this screen. You
could do that with Peardeck too.
Yeah, that's what this is actually. The one that's up now is like they're just reading their sentences, and I did it on a drawing, and I'm like, all right, tell me what word is welded sound, and then you know, blue, you know, in that sentence, you know,
find a word that means a room in the top of a house.
Yeah,
just stuff like that you could just do, and you could each give them a task and on it. I think this is actually going to be kind of fun.
This is going to be better than it was.
That's the thing, is I felt like it wasn't interactive enough.
It wasn't. That was the biggest. Yeah, that was my biggest issue with it, is that we were just trying to stay afloat. Wasn't interactive enough.
Yes.
And if the way that Wilson says to do it, it's super not interactive. I don't know their video where you just hold up your stuff to the camera.
Well, I never knew. Are they actually seeing it in the right way when you hold it up, or is it backwards? See, that was stuff I didn't understand.
You see it backwards, but the right way.
Okay.
So that's hard. That was super hard for me. No, like we see it backwards. Like when I hold this up to the camera, it's backwards for me, but it's not for you.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
So if they are trying to, that's going to actually confuse kids. I didn't even think about that, because I was saying kids can just hold up their magnet board or whatever it is we have at the house.
Yeah.
But they're going to see their stuff backwards.
So I'm like, wait. And that is one thing. If we can get all our kids a small whiteboard and marker, when we do spelling, they can write on that. And then if we need to see it, it's easier to see than the paper and pencil.
Actually, you can get white at the dollar store. If we could get them to have white plastic plates.
Well, but here's what we can do. Those I'm working on, we don't want to send those magnet boards home. They are $36.
Oh, I don't blame you.
And
we have the tiles on here though.
The 3rd grade foundations has tiles we need, and they have an at-home kit for $3 that has a laminated cardboard, cardstock whiteboard.
Okay.
and paper cardstock letter tiles.
Oh,
And I know those are probably going to get lost, but so are our magnets.
oh, the magnets are gonna be awful.
What if they don't have a dry erase marker? Can
we make that a school supply?
That's what I want.
I know. I drove an entire pack of Frisian pins over to my student, and he's lost every one of them. So, I mean, I know how that is. But if we could, you know.
I gave all of my kids one in my classes, and they didn't ever bring. I think one of them brought them back.
I think that we've asked for so much money that. Yes, now can we also have this for every single kid? But it's like $3 a piece instead of 36.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're gonna have to barcode the student readers because I just know they're too expensive. We're supposed to use them for more than 1 year, and they will all get broken, beat up.
But if we do it this way, they don't need it.
Well, but you know, sometimes my kids, when it's a story, they can't do it. Copeland can't do it on the screen because I have to make it kind of smaller.
Oh, okay.
He really needs to have it in front of him. And I think that we should, like, we'll probably get in trouble. I'm just waiting to be arrested for scanning everything in there. Just waiting. Because it's like, what do you do? But I think that this is super smart and that kids can scoop on it and everything else. I think the only time that really I make him read out of the book is a story.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's hard to follow along on the computer screen, and depending on what you have for a device.
Well, no, that's true. That's true. And I don't know how well those Chromebooks work for them. I know some of them I couldn't hear the kids.
Either. Like, how does a mouse I know is a pain in the butt on a Chromebook.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with that.
But they can scoop on it, right?
It's like that.
I think it is like this. I just feel like there's weird things about going up and down on the screen. You can't just like move it up and down.
A lot of it's going to depend on the age of the kid too.
Yes.
The little ones, I really struggled with my little ones doing anything. See, most of my first graders this year were repeats, so I went ahead and did the WRS with them because they were technically supposed to be second grade anyway. And so we were doing a lot of this, but I've got some that are so low. I mean, I've been working with them and I still can't get them to not blend cat.
I'm going to figure out a way to make Google Slides manipulative. I look at Seesaw. Somebody told me maybe Seesaw, because then we could really do some good phonological awareness with blending and segmenting with Alcona boxes, and they could show us, you know, let me see your board. There's got to be, and I'm going to figure it out, because I think that when you've got little ones like that and they can't blend, we've got to give them something to move.
Touch. Yes, they need to. Yes,
and so
that's what I lose.
I know, and that's what I think that that's where I've been trying to figure out the spelling and I do those Kilpatrick drills with my student at the beginning, and just having him move it. If I have one kid, I can give him control of my screen. It's still not great, but there's a way that you could do something like this with that.
Well, we may have to, if they are virtual, I don't know, it depends on your number, but virtual may have to be more one-on-one than groups to make it, depends on your load.
I was okay. I thought we were going to make this work, and then they announced that teachers were going to have to do both.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I sent something out to principals saying, I recommended that all intervention occur in a virtual setting. Because I was like, I do not know how these teachers are going to be able to group students in a building based on their level and on where they decided to have school from. You would upload, do a group virtual and separate for levels, and in person separate for levels. So I was like, if every kid could log on at the same time that's attached to your building, whether they're at home or at school, it's the only way I could even see feasibly that you could reach all those kids. Like there's no possible way you could do both separately.
Yeah, the only thing I was thinking on that was I was like, well, the kids that are there, I'd group like I normally do. If my room's not set up for 6 feet apart though.
I know. That's what I said reading teachers' rooms are smaller. They typically don't have a smart board. Because
I don't have a smart board.
you know, you could put it up on the smart board and you could like have the other ones log in and at least be doing it with the kids at home too, because watching a video of you doing another intervention lesson, what kid is going to do that?
I didn't do it. Mine never even tried. I gave up. I said, I'm not recording anymore.
I wouldn't watch it. It doesn't. Also, I think something they haven't thought about as a district, like where is all this going to go? 8 hours of recording every day.
Oh yeah, I was teaching to myself, and I was like, this isn't going to work. Or you just can't.
Yeah, you feel like Dora the Explorer. You're like,
I was like,
how was your
right.
day? Like you've lost your mind.
Yeah, I was trying. I'm just hoping my little ones are in school. I know they won't be, a couple of them, but.
Well, and that's the other thing, you know, depending on where you work and if your kids, some places, if you can make your grouping work, that's awesome. I just was like, I cannot ask them to do this.
Your middle school and high school are going to be the hard ones.
Ugh.
Middle school is going to be your hardest. Sixth
I
grade
worked
middle school.
really, really hard to try to group those kids appropriately. And now I don't know if they're even at school, at home. And that's why I was like, look, I don't even know what to do now. So if we could at least say, if they've got first block with you, if you can at least teach it with the smartboard or from your computer to them, is going to get everybody. We cannot say if you chose virtual, you chose nothing. We just can't.
No. Well, that was one of the things I was asking Miss Monica, because I'm trying to figure out, because I'm kind of in the middle. I don't really know what's going on, but I know a little bit about what's going on.
And they make you guys make your own schedules, which is like, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Teachers are screwed. Make your own schedule.
Yeah. And I was like, well, so I'm not getting this. I'm like, do the kids, because I know last time my 4th and 5th graders with their teacher, they didn't want to, oh, that's my dog, sorry, he's sneezing. He's sitting out here. They, you know, the teachers are working till 9, 10 o'clock at night.
I know.
Because the kids didn't want to get on till 7, 8 o'clock.
No, we cannot do that. I remember you emailed me about that. No. And so what I said was, we have to give students the option of having an interactive lesson with a teacher during the school day. I had a couple of schools that were like, we're just going to record this lesson and post it. Do you have worksheets? And I was like, no, you haven't even given that child an option to log on and ask a question. That is not an option. And so
ours can't be done that way. I mean, ours just can't.
But you can't, but you have to give them the option. You can't make sure everybody's there. You can't make sure they all log in at the right time. You can try. And so I guess posting a video is better than nothing. But if you never let them get on at all and you've said, I'm just going to passively record a lesson and post it, that is not intervention.
No, it's not. It's not going to work. And that was, and I asked Monica, I said, so these teachers that are supposed to be doing both, how are they going to do? And she said, well, they're going to have to set up and record their lesson or have them log on at certain times, I guess, while she's teaching.
I mean, I think that's what it's going to have to be. It's going to be more like you have to log on at this time.
Yeah, between 8 and 3, they put basically whatever their teacher does.
Right. And so I don't know. I know it's not good for kids to be online that much. My solution is a universal gap year.
I saw your post on Facebook and I answered that.
That's my solution. So we are already behind.
Oh yeah, we're so far behind. And
we already couldn't do this with a normal year.
We're not going to pull kids forward until we're back in school.
And so can we just focus on keeping everybody healthy?
Well, and I think they need to really, the focus needs to be on reading and math. And they need to stop all this other stuff, because you're right, they don't have time to teach it all.
What do we do?
And writing. They need some writing in there. But
what do we do? This is such a Andy, too many kids are coming to school. We've got too many cases. I couldn't focus on teaching if that's in the back of my head all day. And if you're at a middle and high school, they're changing classes. So what? Can you imagine the Central High, the 5 minutes between classes?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I've seen pictures on Facebook of different schools, and I'm just like, and you know, I had to laugh that Asa sat up there yesterday saying, well, we have to wear our mask and we have to social distance and we have to be responsible for everything that we do. And I'm like, and you're throwing 300-400 kids in a building at once?
Well, and if you can't control the community spread, how the hell do you control it in a school?
It's going to break out the first week and we're going to be shut down.
That's what I keep thinking too. And that's why I've really tried to focus all of my PD supporting this. Because
Well,
I don't know what else to do.
I don't either, because I'm almost to the point where how am I going to, my dog's having issues. Trying to figure out. Oh, they're sneezing.
It's not a human.
That's true. You know, there he is. But he hasn't moved on the couch all day.
Oh, poor puppy.
I mean, I don't know. I just don't know how else to really get this to do as much interaction as possible other than
well, I appreciate you trying, and I appreciate you going to those Tech Tuesday things that I have not been able to go to.
Well, they keep telling me, now I'm trying to find this out, and you may know the answer. When I took the Peardeck, she said, oh, if you like Peardeck, you're really going to like Nearpod. And in the back of my head, I'm like going, tell me one, because I can't do all this at once and figure it out. No, I can't find a Nearpod. They're not doing Nearpod anymore.
You can do Nearpod. We did Nearpod in a PD the other day. I think it's really, really nice for like, if you're doing multiple choice.
Okay, but it's not like for this.
Well, I feel like I think it worked for like when we delivered PD, but I think that for this, what we really want kids to do is be able to write on the screen. They're not taking a quiz. And if it was, even if we used it for spelling, it would be typing. And so I feel like it's good. I don't think it's like this. And they have like a
it has a place, it's just not in intervention.
Yeah.
So
what we can use. Like we might be able to use it for something. I'm looking at, I think Flipgrid is super easy, and it's just videos. It's just a way for them to take a video.
Okay, that's kind of like the Sandbox.
It'd be good for charting because they just easily post. Like I'll show you what we did in our training. The teachers just went on and got too much junk open.
Am I still sharing? Do I need to not?
I don't think so. I think I'm sharing.
Oh, I think it's me. Okay, stop share. Okay, there you go.
And so we just went on here and I just said, tell me like one thing about you. And it's supposed to be free forever. That's the other thing that's nice because everything is like you pay for this and then, or it's free for 2 weeks and then you got to pay.
Yeah.
And I want to build some things that we can easily use. And of course, like now I can't find it. I said it was easy to find and everything, but I know it's on here somewhere. But like basically kids just get on here, they just click on it and take a video. And I think this would be, there it is. I think it would be really easy when you have your kids, you can just go to your group 1 or whatever. And here's this say hello on Flipgrid. You could just have wordless charting 2.5. And then I can just see all the teachers that posted. And I can just watch this little video. It's easy. But like, it's so easy to do. It was so easy. And I think like that. And it's not like a technology hoop to jump through because it's so simple.
Okay.
And then you can leave feedback.
Now, one of the things I was wondering was, and I did figure this out a little bit. It took some time on some little things I had to do, but the Schoology, are they going to have to like log into Schoology when they're with us?
I think that they need to. I think they need to. And I have been working on for weeks that y'all needed to have eSchool roles because that's how they built those classes. And remember the mess that we had to deal with adding everyone into its learning class and trying to get your kids in. Oh, and
Oh, yeah.
can we please just do this on the front end? And I just got an email yesterday. Did you see that? Where they were like, who needs this? And I was like, I've been saying this.
Well, I have an eSchool account
But you
because
don't
I was a third grade teacher, but that's the only reason I had one.
Yeah,
But
and
nobody's
so
in it.
like they need to be able to, because if we're supposed to be communicating with parents and have our kids in there, you need to be able to at least look up the parent's phone number. Like it's nuts to me that we can't do that. And so I was saying that we really need to have, it just needs to be, if they are added to your roster, you need a roster. And then when they're added, they're in your class. You don't have
They're where they're supposed to be.
add these kids, and you could just have it and you could send the messages out, because you're going to need to make classes. And if the kids aren't in there, it's going to be a lot of work to put those kids in everybody's classes. And that's for you, for resource, for speech, for OT, for PT. Like, come on.
Hey, yeah, that's not good.
I don't want to be responsible for that again. I cannot do it. I was getting emails from physical therapists, and I'm like, I am not you. I don't know what to do. So I think that they're going to need to get on Schoology, because what we want is for everything to be there. And that's why we're switching to Teams.
Yeah.
It's there. And so I'm going to try to make a shell. I'm going to make a shell, you guys, of how I would set up a group that then you could take and say group 1, group 2, group 3, and you could just use it. I'm also going to make us a teacher group. Like, it's kind of like, instead of our Facebook, I'm going to put it on Schoology. So it's just our school district teachers. We don't have to worry about weird people coming in or whatever. You can just have that. The other thing I found today, I don't know if you saw this, this woman made this awesome interactive sound wall.
Oh, I have not seen that.
Super cool. So I'm going to share that with y'all. Like, I just like that everybody's sharing all the stuff that they're making, because it's super cool, and I think it will help. We could even make it for Wilson, because, you know, she has like E elephant. Like, we could just change the sound. For foundations anyway.
Okay. One of the things I did do on the spelling was I did put the arm out there, and this was where it didn't work on Peardeck, because I did the animated, so that's why I was like spelling, and it came up the MONTH month, and I figured out how to do that one.
I know, I wish there was a better way to do sight words. I don't like the way we teach sight words.
No, I don't either.
It's just not enough.
I mix up a bunch of different stuff, but yeah,
Because
you're
we
right.
spell it like twice in the air, and we're like, okay, now you should spell that word, and if you can't, look it up.
No, and see, I haven't had somebody that struggles with that yet, but I don't know what I'll do when I.
It's hard, because they can't spell it. I mean, it's just,
he can read does, but he can't spell it.
older kids usually are okay with sight words, because that's what they're pretty good at.
They've learned that far.
But it's hard to teach, because this is not multisensory enough.
That's where I think you almost have to go back to what they did with IMSE, and they did
OG sand, even sand. Who cares? Let them write in the sand.
The sand, the little screens, stuff
Sand
like that.
is better than the air.
Yeah, the air doesn't work because my kids just sit there and do this.
Yeah, and you're like, I don't know what you wrote.
Well,
I'm
if,
like,
yeah,
come on,
and if you're
try.
not looking right if you're not specifically looking at a kid, they could be writing SHIT and you wouldn't.
And then most of them probably are.
At least they can spell it. But
Well, what's really funny is when they spell that when they're supposed to be spelling something else.
I'm just saying,
Right.
if you're not, if I wasn't one-on-one, I wouldn't know.
yeah, you don't really know what they wrote. It's hard to assess.
Right. That's all.
Yeah. But I like the red crayon on the screen, and I like the sand.
And you know, I know they don't love the tapping, but I can still spell stuff that I had to tap out. I can hear a little song in my head, you know?
Oh yeah, I always come up, and I always tell them all my little tricks, and I come up with more for them when we're doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, and one thing I did see, I was watching, actually, I still get IMSE stuff, and I just clicked on it today because I was going to see what they were doing. But for like when they're home, they can take aluminum foil and wad it up and then straighten it back out, and they feel the bump, you know.
Oh, that's cool. It kind of makes me cringe a little bit, but hey.
Yeah, but it's something that's at home.
I'm gonna look at that. I will say that Wilson says they're making stuff for the internet.
Oh, they are?
Be like the fourth, it might be like 7 through 12 steps though, coming soon,
Okay,
all year.
okay.
I has said coming soon, but you never know.
I don't know how to do this with the beginning kids and how we're going to assess them and the kids that are virtual. And
That's kind of what we were trying to figure out today. And we're looking at purchasing the 95% group assessments, the PASSE and the phonics screening inventory or whatever, because they've got a little bit of an easier setup for virtual.
okay.
But personally, I don't feel like you can assess phonological awareness over Zoom or with the mask on. So,
No, I've got to be able to see them. Well, I can't hear anyway, so I have to see their mouth.
well, and I can't hear on Zoom very well. My students are like, "What did you say?"
Mm-hmm.
Especially with nonsense words. So
Yeah.
it's tough.
Yeah, nonsense words are really hard when.
We just get through it.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Well,
it's not.
at least they're getting something. I know it's not doing what it's supposed to do, but at least they're getting something until we can
That's why we
have
need
a world
gap year.
back. Do what?
Gap year.
Yeah.
Universal gap year.
Think of the kids that would benefit from that. Oh my
I know,
gosh.
we could just focus on the ones that needed more help, and we could just try to keep kids safe. And parents could go back to work and not be like, "Oh, this year is going to be terrible. We got to make it up."
Mm-hmm.
I already know it's going to be bad.
Well, we're already making up in 9 weeks.
More than that, really.
Yeah, because we were late getting it started. Like you said,
You're
we had to
behind.
learn the new curriculum.
Yeah.
So,
But we're getting
at
better
least
at it.
the whole world's in this position, at least.
Yeah, not as bad as us. Some places are better than others, but we'll figure it out. We're gonna do what we do and try to just be safe and try to do what's best for our students and not feel guilty if we can't get every kid, because it's too much.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of it is going to have to be on them and their parent if they're virtual. They're just going to have to.
God, I feel like I'm going to fail at that already. We're a high school kid to help them.
Yeah. I had about 3 or 4 that I couldn't get on for anything. The teacher couldn't get them on. I couldn't get them on. They just weren't going to do it.
And I understand that. I think it was just too overwhelming too.
Some of them, well, the Hispanics, I know it is.
Or we had kids on Zoom with their kid in their lap crying and they're cooking on the stove and it caught fire and just like,
no.
Where are you focusing?
Yeah, I put something on Facebook today I found, and it was more for an ADD kid, and it's kind of all the different things that they're thinking, and I was like, we're gonna have to realize that's every kid this year.
It is every kid.
It's me.
It's me. It's me.
But they're coming in
front of a computer and say, do math.
Mm-hmm.
There's other things. I'm trying to do intervention. You can hear the TV.
The dog barking.
In the background. Adults having a conversation. Little brother comes in. I mean, it's just like, oh, this is hard.
It's and we're going to have to, no matter what the powers to be say, we're just going to have to realize that these are kids and they just can't, they're not functioning.
They're kids and people have to go to work and we're doing the best that we can.
Yeah. It won't be good enough for them, but they're just going to have to.
And it's all going to be recorded.
Yeah.
So they can go back and watch it. Look at her. She didn't even make him stop watching TV from the internet. Can you imagine? Everyone's a critic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me get off of here and try to finish up some of this stuff. I got to order materials for at home. But thank you, Sandy. I appreciate it. And
You're welcome.
Try to plug it into our 1 hour. I'm just going to plug it into our 1 hour thing. Because I'm going to try to be like, here, it's how you do this. Let's practice. That's how you do this.
Well, they need to get on and learn how to do the Peardeck. We can show them what it does and then let them get on the PD and they can learn how to do it.
Yeah.
Because you can't.
Because you've got to play with it. You've got to do it or you don't know what to do.
Yeah, and there's other options on that Peardeck, but the drawing was the one that I thought was the best for this because of the swooping.
No, I think you're right. I think as far as scooping and marking words, this is probably the best tool that I've seen for sure, except for paper.
Yeah, and we can watch it, and we can, they're actually doing something rather than me saying, okay, tell